Alright, so we see. Looks like Bill just passed first. Plays Shrine Maiden, milling 3 cards, and then hits Secret Cache. Oh, sorry. He played Fury to Bow Manipulator, and then he's Shrine Maiden, hit Clarity, and discards Centrum Policy Debate. Probably gonna see a charge attempt. So this is Shenful versus Bill. Just gonna run it back again. Alright, we're gonna get a 4-Dream here on the cast. Since I'm just sitting here by myself. Maybe not. We're gonna see if he's available. So we saw Charge Sucrane not get cancelled. Oh no, we did. Okay, so we saw it be cancelled. We saw a second charge. Then we see a Fury to bow Sucrane. Nothing happens. Bill then uses Sucrane to resolve the Earth and the Air Ring. So you go to yeah. So he goes to 8, 7, 6. Yep, so 6 is where he should be. Alright, so second turn we see 12 Fate to 12 Fate. Shen is low on honor right now. And then Bill flips Prodigy, Satoshi, and Adept. He buys Prodigy with 4 Fate. Pretty aggressive. So we see Nice runs into Shameful. Probably gonna see a Fate Worse Than Death here. Nice pitches Calling in favors. Wave the Scorpion dishonors Prodigy. Debate between Prodigy and Nice. Bill bids to win. We see two Fate Worse Than Deaths. Assassination, Censure, Charge, Court Games, For Shame, Let Go. Okay, probably takes the charge here. Take charge here. Just because then we actually can't see, like, Shen can't win the conflict then. And then, interesting, I would not have done that. Maybe Bill has a Fury now. Oh, right, so he's going to get policy debated now. So Bill needs to Fury now. He should Fury Shoju now. Right, with two policy debates, Shen can debate twice. No, this is turn 2, Corey, so forfeit. Sorry, I wasn't talking too much. I was just doing some admin work as I was winding my night down. Just updating the bracket, you know, getting everything ready. Trying to, you know, get all these videos onto YouTube. So, we see Nice be activated. Okay, so there's a Fury. Alright, so Charge brings in Shoju. Fury battles Shoju. Debate. Shen bids 2 just to win. Discards Display. Then they both bid 1. He discards Censure. And then we see... we see 2 Embraces get played that then immediately get let go'd. So Bill wins the conflict, and because Shen chooses not to play his Fate Worse Than Death, which would have tied favor. We see Chondro District flop now, of course. Classic, right on time. This card is just real fun to play against. So we see Shenful plays Hero Away with 3. We see Naive Student 0. Hey, what's up, Elrathian? Um, I agree that playing Let Goes on the Embraces, it kind of gets them out of your hand, where, they could be dead if Tadaka shows up, but, if Cloud the Mind shows up, it is obviously not something he has, really good answers to, because he's already pitched a Calling in Favors and now 2 Let Goes, so these are probably the 2 Let Goes that he has, and, it's 1 or 2 Calling in Favors. We do see a lot of duplicate events though, so he's not really going to be clogged. He still has First Shane court games available to him, but Tadaka's not even here at the moment. We see another Prodigy with 3 Fate. This Water Ring is real juicy with 2 Fate on it. Yeah, this is definitely a different style than the game we just saw, right? Where 4Dream and Bill were going really, really aggro. So Bill plays Cloud the Mind on Hero A. We saw Shen attacks Manicured. Clarity gets played on Prodigy. Shen just gets the 2 Fate off the ring. So Bill scouts and he hits Pilgrimage, but it goes on a water. So we see Bill censures the debate. So this is the 3rd debate from Shen, gets censured. So Bill's seen 2 censures, Shen's seen 3 debates. This is my biggest pet peeve. So someone complains, I can't believe you saw all of your X card, you saw so many of X card, and then you look in their fucking graveyard and look at this. We see 3 policy debates right here. I can't believe you saw all of your censures. Dude, you saw all of your policy debates. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean, Corey? Like, come on, dude. Like, yeah, like, Jesus Christ. Like, I hate people who complain about variants. Like, they complain about only negative variants and never look at their own variants. And it's like, I can't believe you got this, this, and this. It's like, dude, look at your own cards. Like, if you just took 1 second and looked at what you drawn, you'd be like, oh man, I also drew really well. Like, I don't know. Yeah, but see, Shen. So I love Shen. Like he's a good dude. I met him at PAX South. He's I think he's a good player. He's intelligent. He's definitely the right like a cool dude. My issue with him is he complains. He's a complainer. He likes to complain. When games are going his way, when games aren't going his way. He just likes to get his complaints in. When you build up your complaint equity, you just gotta cash it in. Yeah, dude. Look. People can complain all they want. I have no problem with people who complain. It's just when you do it all the time, and you just like, oh, it's like, come on, not again. You gotta space out your complaints. So you gotta spend your yeah, dude. It's complaint equity, all right. So you gotta build up your complaint equity, then you can spend it, right? And then after you spent it, you're out of it. So you just have to kind of wait a little bit, and then you gotta wait and wait and wait, and then you can go back to complaining. I mean, there's no reason for Bill to attack. As soon as he finds Sadaka, the game's over. But Master of Gisei Toshi will probably end the game here. Like, Shen flip double City of Lies, and he has 19 Fate. We see Embrace the Void on Hero A. Meek Informant shows 2 Against the Waves, Assassination Charge, 2 Clarities, a Cloud, 3 Let Goes, a Fury, 2 Storms. Yeah, this game is super, super over. You just pick whatever ring you want to break on, and you do political and break on that. You have Conjure District on defense. What is he going to do with 18 Fate? He can't cast spells. What ring did Master of Gisei Toshi play? Or I think we're still in draw step, actually. Yeah, Master of Gisei Toshi hasn't picked a ring yet. You don't even need to pick air. Like, realistically, who cares? You have 6 Fate. 6 Fate is basically equivalent to 18 here. Like, the difference between 6 and 18 is like monumental compared to like the difference between 1 and 4 or whatever. So I picked water. Alright, so he's just gonna win the water ring, get his keeper. And he's just going to break Pilgrimage here with these Supernatural Storms. There's just no way Shen can defend. Shen can't play any events here because he doesn't have any spells. Like this card and Tadaka are the two key cards. Like this card has gotten a lot of value. Being a Shugenja, like Master of Gisei Toshi is sick. I'm actually just like I'm ready for season 6 so we can play with the new cards like in a competitive environment. But I'm also excited for this week. Friday is going to be the pre-release for Dominaria. Finally get to play Magic again competitively. We've got the GP. The GP is in 2 weeks. Super excited. So we see the Watering Bows, the Meek Informant. We see Double Prodigy Resolve, but blows up Pilgrimage. We see this very sad-looking hero A. Wave the Chrysanthemum and surprise dishonor them? You mean surprise honor them? Like surprise honor them out? Like I don't know. Wave the Chrysanthemum doesn't make them lose honor twice. It only makes them lose the honor once. If Wave the Chrysanthemum made you lose the honor twice. Oh yeah. Hey, what's up, Mittens? Yeah, dude, 18 Fate. Lots of cards he can play. We saw 18 Fate and 13 cards in hand, and we just saw a break on Pilgrimage very easily. So we saw Calling in Favors moving it, and then we just immediately see a new Calling in Favors show up. Or sorry, a new Cloud the Mind show up. I mean, these let goes were just so aggressive. These two let goes were just incredibly aggressive. You know, El Raytheon called it. You know, discarding Embrace the Void. Like, really, who cares? So Bill defends. Probably gonna play a Clarity here. Yep. There's Clarity of Purpose onto his Master of Gisei Toshi. Yeah, exactly, Mittens. Manicure Garden gains a Fate. Shen passes. Bill should probably play a Storm here. It's actually air. It doesn't even matter. I think I would just let this go. Who cares if he wins air? Oh, sure, he has a Fury. All right, whatever. He just he just has a billion cards. He's at 11 cards in deck. Bill says Kachiko 15 Fate. Let's see it. I don't even know if Jigoku goes that high on Fate. Like, I don't know if you could put that much Fate on a character. Look, it wasn't 15, but it was indeed Kachiko with 5 additional Fate. Interesting that he attacks Cash. Is he just trying to bait out the defense here? I mean, Kachiko defends and then kicks you out. Not really, Alrathian. 11 cards is a lot. Like, if you just tone your bids down. Like, you can basically draw out 5 cards in your deck. That's 5 turns, right? You just bid 1 each turn. I mean, you don't have to use library. I know it's blasphemous, but it is a reaction, so you don't have to do it. Alright, gonna crack another cold one here. So Shen wins the conflict, Bill wins favor, Bill keeps Conjure District. Still not sure how Shen's gonna win. Bill could reasonably mulligan this palace. He just needs to find Tadaka. The moment he finds Tadaka, he instantly wins. Like, just on the spot wins. If Bill has Twist, he should twist the Yojimbo onto the Informant. Yeah, Baron, dude, I have no idea why he didn't choose to go for the break there. He has clarity, and he's against the waves. Yeah, I could see him putting only one Fate in Fear of Twist. He also has a Fate Worseneth in his hand that he might not want to, spend. Bill successfully claims the Emperor's favor, 8 versus 1. Solar's, at the moment, I'm not really sure. Like, Tadaka's obviously a very warping card. The issue right now is that the card pool is so small in terms of, like, what is playable and what is optimal, that you just, like, don't have a good out to building a kind of suboptimal deck, because you can't just build for Tadaka, right, and then against all the other clans you suffer. It's still too early to say, Machina. I definitely think they are going to be a tier 1 deck. I think once the lists become tuned, once the meta gets solved a little bit more, I think there'll be a tier 1 deck joining Dragon and Scorpion. But time will tell. I don't think they're I don't think they're gonna be so good that they become like a tier 0 deck where they have no bad matchups. All positive win rates. I think they'll still have some reasonable matchups. So Bill just one bids Shen here. So Shen's on 2 honor, gonna go to 3 with the stronghold. Bill can just put Master Gisetoshi on air if he wants. But he could also just use Display of Power on air. He does it for water instead. Like, even in a time match, Bill would be winning, right? Bill has 5 points right now. He's higher in honor. He's got 1 break, and then he's got favor. So Bill would immediately win on tie breaks too. So we see military on Void at Meditations. Bill could just display this if he wants. He could just not care. It's Meditations. Yeah, Elrathium. Look, consumed by 5 fires counters my 4 fate meta. When the meta the meta is slowly moving into 3 fate. Like I'm already one step ahead on the 3 fate meta. I'm already trying to build up into the 4 fate meta. Bill's going on to 5 fate already. So you know what? Consumed by 5 fires, meme card, maybe not. Maybe not such a meme. Consumed by 5 fires is also pretty sick with Embrace the Void. You just get to take all the fate. Hey, what's up, JDL? Yeah, JDL, you gonna play Seeker Phoenix with Consumed by 5 fires at Worlds? Do it. I think Crane has a hard time against New Phoenix. I would agree, Elrathian. I think the number of stand effects and on bows and bows that Phoenix has now is just too much for Crane to deal with, especially Clarity. Clarity is so good in the matchup because Crane obviously is trying to win on their political side, and then obviously Tadaka is just insane. I just hope that. Like, I hope second cycle, and I hope we get a small restricted list for Worlds. I think that would be... I think a restricted list would just be very healthy for the game, and kind of make not all these decks look the same. But we'll see. You know, I'm kind of glad this isn't my main competitive game, or I would probably lose sleep over how you know, just insane the game could end up, like what direction it could go. But at the moment, you know, I mostly play this game. This game is just strictly for fun. The community is pretty awesome. I think it's too good in too many matchups still, Corey. Like, there's just so much ready tech in specifically Phoenix, right? Like that matchup is bad in, but I mean it's still very good in the. It's still really good in the mirror. It's still good against Scorpion. Still good against Crab. Still insane versus Crab. You know, still really good early game against Crane. It's actually pretty good early game against Phoenix now. Where before their box would turn it off very quickly, and now their new box doesn't do that. And then if you use it on first action against non-Shugenja, you can still get stuff off. But I mean, if the restricted list came out with like what it was being proposed as, I was ready to cut Fury. I was gonna take Pathfinder's Blade as my restricted card. Yeah, I agree, Mittens. But I mean, if this restricted list is what it is, let me see if I can find the link for you, Machina. It's been circulating by a lot of people. You know, there was like a text document. So this is the leaked slash very unofficial, like, just list that was going around. This was kind of the message that was going around. And so Jadiel, I don't think people play Fury. I still think Dragon Slash will be pretty high because Lekko is just so important. The problem, some of the cards on this list don't make a lot of sense, but, you know, some of the cards do. Like, for Greater Glory and Iron Mine probably shouldn't be on there, and then if you should probably put the Districts and Satoshi into Dynasty. So that way they can be played together. You know, Calling in Favors or Forged Edict should be on here, not both. And yeah, that's it. I mean, I don't mind this list. I would be totally fine, and I think the game might even be better if it was the way Against the Waves. Oh my god, Against the Waves. Oh, card is so dumb now. Absolutely dumb. So we see Shen attacking Elemental Fury, contesting air. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. So Corey, the reason that one... No, Machina, I don't think Iron Man should be on there at all. So, Corey, the reason that I'm saying that one of Calling in Favors or Edict belong on the list is currently Scorpion has access to every single, like, every single piece of the balance pie, or the... This isn't Magic, so I would say color pie. I would say color pie, right? So the issue here is that, Scorpion has every piece of the color pie. You know, they have character control, they have attachment control, they have cancels. So like, if you just need to restrict one of those, like that's all it is, right? Like that's like we just make it so they have to actually make a choice and not have access to every single answer, you know, in faction. Jadil, you're watching this. Looks like the airing is bugged again. I don't know what's going on, but looks like the airing is bugged again. If you want the password to the game, let me know. Yeah, sorry, dude. Like I said, we are the best QA team, but it does involve a lot more work for you. Well, the thing is, they have access to it all in faction, right? That's the thing, is like, you know, other clans have access to it through splashes, right? But Scorpion can Scorpion basically takes Dragon Splash out of just luxury. Like, they don't take it out of necessity, they take it out of luxury. And then having Fury on that list also makes it good. I mean, like, look, I'm ready. I'm ready for just something to shake up the meta a little bit. Yeah, but like, you would be making a real choice then if you did Crab Splash, right? Because then you wouldn't have attachment control. Also, if this list is true, then Crab Splash isn't even that good because Pathfinder's Blade is on this list. So there's the Swim. Swim shows up to kill Master of Gisei Toshi. Yeah, so there's Way of the Scorpion, and then we see a Swim on it. We do see Bill still breaking here. Mittens, I have it on good authority that he's not. That's all I'll say. There are, I have it on good authority that there are no cards even on the realm of Tadaka in this upcoming cycle, because Tadaka is literally just in another universe. Like, when they designed that card, I feel like when they were designing Tadaka, they just left off some words. Or they messed some words up in order, and they're just like, when they printed it, they're like, whoops! Guess it's too late now. Have you, Mittens, have you played against... Hey, speaking of Tadaka... Only 3?! I mean, you can still be a fan of the character and make him very powerful. You don't have to make him just like otherworldly godlike, right? Yeah. Machina, I think he is currently too strong, and I think his effect is too bad for the game. Like I think his effect is not good for the game. Just like, so Guest of Honor is already pushing it in terms of being a healthy effect for the game. One of the hallmarks of L5R is its heavy interaction. You know, both players play cards back and forth. You know, you try and one up each other through a conflict, or you try and conserve cards. You know what I mean? Like that's how the conflicts go. And we see, you know, cards like Guest of Honor that you know, once they're in the conflict, kind of stunt that. Well, so popular or unpopular opinion, I think Fantasy Flight has no idea what they're doing when it comes to balance, and I think they just print cards to you know, they're a business first and foremost, and I think their focus is more on marketing and sales than it is on actual competitive balance. That's my opinion. I think that there's in no world can you print this card and think it could be healthy for the game. He has no restriction on being participating. He has no conflict type restriction. He has no phase restriction. He's always on unless your opponent claims the Earth Ring, which he's at least on for the first conflict. And then you gave him to a clan that has a display of power, and your opponent can't cancel it because they probably canceled something earlier in the game. Like, it's just it's actually pretty unreal. Well, like, the thing is, Corey, I can't imagine this card is fun for a kitchen table player. Like, I just can't imagine that this card here is fun for kitchen table players to use. Or not even use, for kitchen tables players to play against. Because, like, at a kitchen table, like, when you're playing, you don't even think about the effects of this card, right? Like, you're just playing the game, you know, just for fun. You're seeing all these cool things. Yeah, I guess I could see that. I mean, I could also see players who are playing it not even realize what's happening, right? Like, I don't know. Like, they don't like you know, casual players aren't gonna see the impact that this card has, right? They don't feel it as much, right? It's just incredibly unfun to play against. And while I don't think fun should be a sole reason to balance something, I do think that it should definitely be some of the reason. You know, we're playing a game. You know, this card, not only is this card not fun to play against, it's also just incredibly game warping, and like with the way the card pool is now, you know, not every client can play Cloud the Mind, you know, with the ease of access to Let Go. Yeah, exactly, Machina. You know, a great example of this is Storm in Magic the Gathering. You know, Storm is one of the, you know, the most hated and, you know, worst design mechanics that that Magic has ever come up with, because it leads to just broken combo decks. And, you know, when your opponent is sitting there generating a ton of mana and just kind of jerking themselves off, like, it's just really unfun to sit there and watch them do it, right? You know, Storm, Dredge is the same thing. You know, there's no interaction. Like, the interaction is just incredibly linear. So in those games, there are sideboards where you can deal with combo decks. But I mean, you know, game one, like, your opponent starts dredging, and you're like, oh, cool, I'm just watching them put their deck into the graveyard. Like, this is really interactive, except it's not, right? Same thing with Storm. Like, you know, you get comboed off, and your opponent's just sitting there, like, you know, counting their Storm count up, counting their mana. You know, it's like, can you kill me already? Like, I'm not doing anything. I have no recourse. Alright, so we see the all-out attack. We saw Rally flip. We saw... How did Tadaka get dishonored? For shame. For shame dishonors Tadaka. We see Clarity of Purpose on Shiba Tetsu. Interesting. Tetsu gets +1/+1. So, currently winning. We see clarity of purpose on Prodigy of the Waves. Well, the other problem, Machina, is that the kind of elephant in the room that pops up all the time in these kind of decks is that Dragon Splash is so good and so efficient for what it does that it's just plug into already good decks and make them even better, right? The splash of 3 Fury, 3 Let Go is just perfect. Like, it's just perfect. And so, like, there's no, it's just ubiquitous in these, control decks, basically. Like, there's no recourse to taking that splash. It's just strictly the best option, and it just fills all your holes. You have no weaknesses when you take that splash, right? You get character control and attachment control. And, like Shen here just literally can't play any cards. Like, he didn't... Yeah, Fire Guard at the moment. I think Fire Guard is a well-designed card. So I think Fire Guard is a well-designed card. It has good restrictions. It has good stats. Like it asks for interaction. The other cards don't, though. Yeah, Mittens. I'm on 23 attachments now, which I think is up. I think I used to be on like 20. I'm on 14 events. 3 Fury, 3 Let Go. Yeah, 3 Fury, 3 Let Go, 3 Policy Debate, 3 Court Games, and then 2 Charge. So it's literally 3 of all the best. It's 3 of one of the best events, and then 2 Charges because I don't really like 3 in Dragon, but there's no variables. Like, there's no way for me to build my deck any differently. Currently some of the strongholds are the same way, right? Like, people are talking about the monk decks in Dragon, and they're like, oh man, I want to do all these cool things and not be like this neat master deck. And, it's just like, well, your stronghold kind of says that you have to do that, right? Like, if you don't build your deck in a certain way, your stronghold literally just doesn't get activated that often. Whereas other clans can at least use their stronghold in different builds. So, like, funneling clans into these builds is cool and all, but, like, it's just not possible. Yeah, Mittens, we need more strongholds. We need our strongholds to be like this stronghold. Or this stronghold. Like, if these new strongholds... Sure, JDL. I think Tadaka makes 3Os worse is good for deck design in a year or two. Give me 2 more cycles where the card pool is where I have enough viable cards for me to do that. At the moment, the viable pool, if I tech my deck for Tadaka and make 2-ofs, there's just not enough good cards where my other matchups won't suffer. And, like, that's just the problem. Sure, Corey. I'm just saying, like, these new strongholds, like, everyone else's stronghold, like, if they're not on this level, it's just like a slap in the face, right? Like, these 2 strongholds are so unreal. Like, when you compare them to the other strongholds, like, they completely operate on a different axis. So that's gonna do it for me, guys. You know, I had a really good time interacting with everyone. Thanks everyone for hanging out in chat. You know, it's 2 in the morning. Finish winding down my day. I'm gonna go ahead and go to sleep. You know, thanks everyone for hanging out. It was really fun.